transport in China has experienced major growth and expansion in recent years. Airports, roads, and railway construction will provide a massive employment boost in China over the next decade. Rail, which is the primary mode of transport, has also been used for long distances, has doubled in length since the mid-20th century, and an extensive network provides service to the entire nation. The larger cities have metro systems in operation, under construction, or in the planning stage. The highway and road system also has gone through rapid expansion, resulting in a rapid increase of motor vehicle use throughout China. Although China's transport system comprises a vast network of transport nodes across its huge territory, the nodes tend to concentrate in the more economically developed coastal areas and inland cities along major rivers. The physical state and comprehensiveness of China's transport infrastructure tend to vary widely by geography, while remote rural areas still largely depend on non-mechanized means of transport. A modern maglev train system was built in China to connect the city center of Shanghai with its international airport. Much of contemporary China's transport systems have been built since the establishment of the People's Republic in 1949. Prior to 1950, there were only 21,800 kilometers of railway lines. In 2010, the railway network has since been expanded to 90,000 kilometers. Rail travel remained the most popular form of transport, although air travel has also experienced significant growth since the late 1990s. The government-led effort that began in the 1990s to connect the country by expressways via the National Trunk Highway System has expanded the network to about 97,000 kilometers by the end of 2012, making China's the longest expressway network in the world. History. China is in the midst of a massive upgrade of its transport infrastructure. Until recently, China's economy was able to continue to grow despite deficiencies in infrastructure development. This is no longer the case, and the government realizes that to keep the economy moving forward, they need an efficient system in place to move goods and people across the country. According to World Bank statistics, goods lost due to poor or obsolete transport infrastructure amounted to 1% of China's GDP as recently as the most current survey. Logistic costs account for 20% of a product's price in China, compared to 10% in the United States, and 5% in other developed countries. Ports are being improved for greater use of China's waterways, and airports are being improved across the country. Related industries such as construction equipment, engineering, container security, and electronics and safety devices have also grown rapidly. Regulation. Mainland China. Transport in mainland China is regulated by a new agency formed from the Ministry of Communications, the Ministry of Railways, the Civil Aviation Administration of China, Special Administrative Regions. The aforementioned transport authorities have no jurisdiction in Hong Kong and Macau. Hong Kong's transport is regulated by Transport Department of Hong Kong, whereas Macau's transport is regulated by Land, Public Works and Transport Bureau of Macau. Rail. Rail is the major mode of transport in China. In 2011, China's railways carried 2,947 billion ton-kilometers of freight and 961.23 billion passenger kilometers. Both traffic volumes are the highest in the world. The high volume of traffic that China's railway system carries makes it critical to China's economy. China's railway system carries 24% of the world's railway transport volume on only 6% of the world's railways. China has the world's third largest rail network. As of 2010, it is 91,000 kilometers long, an increase of 5,000 kilometers of track from 2009. About 47% of the network is electrified. In 2011, China's railway inventory included 19,431 locomotives owned by the national railway system. The inventory in recent times included some 100 steam locomotives, but the last such locomotive, built in 1999, is now in service as a tourist attraction, while the others have been retired from commercial service. The remaining locomotives are either diesel or electric powered. Another 352 locomotives are owned by local railroads and 604 operated by joint venture railways. National railway freight cars numbered 622,284 and passenger coaches 52,130. Because of its limited capital, overburdened infrastructure, and need to continuously modernize, the national rail system, which is controlled by the Ministry of Railways through a network of regional divisions, operates on an austere budget. Foreign capital investment in the freight sector was allowed beginning in 2003, and international public stock offerings opened in 2006. In another move to better capitalize and reform the rail system, the Ministry of Railways established 3 public shareholder-owned companies in 2003: China Railways Container Transport Company, China Railway Special Cargo Service Company, and China Railways Parcel Express Company. In recent decades, rail use in China has seen significant growth in the volume of goods and passengers transported. Since 1980, the volume of goods transported has increased by 305% and the volume of passengers has increased by 485%. During this same time period, total km of rail lines has only increased by 34%. Data from the World Bank and AMP Visala.com. Regional development. In 1992, a new large-scale rail project was launched in China, called the New Silk Road, or Eurasian Continental Bridge Project. The project involved the modernization and infrastructure development of a 4,131 km railroad route starting in Liaoning, Jiangsu, and traveling through central and northwestern China to Urumqi, Xinjiang, to the Alator Pass into Kazakhstan. For that point, the railroad links to some 6,800 kilometers of routes that end in Rotterdam. China also has established rail links between seaports and interior export processing zones. For example, in 2004, Chengdu in Sichuan was linked to the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone in coastal Guangdong. Exports clear customs in Chengdu on a ship twice daily by rail to the seaport at Shenzhen for fast delivery. Tibet. A 1,080 km section of the Qingzhang Railway has been completed from Golmud to Laso. The 815 km section from Xining to Golmud in Qinghai opened to traffic in 1984. The railway's highest point, the Tanggula Mountain Pass, is 5,072 meters above sea level, making it the highest railway in the world. More than 960 kilometers, or over 4/5 of the railway, is at an altitude of more than 4,000 meters, and over half of it was laid on frozen earth. Because of the high altitudes, carriages are supplied with supplemental oxygen, linking Lhasa and Shagatsi together in Tibet. The construction of a 254 km extension line of the Qingzhang Railway started in 2009 with completion expected by 2014. High-speed rail. The high-speed service is mainly operated by China Railway High Speed. As of October 2010, China has 7,000+ km of rail track capable for 250+ km/h running. Lines capable for 300+ km/h running include Beijing-Tianjin Line, 117 km long, Wuhan-Guangzhou Line, 968 km long. Zhang Xian Line, 457 km long. Shanghai-Nanjing Line, 301 km long. Shanghai-Hangzhou Line, 160 km long. Guangzhou-Shenzhen Line, 160 km long. Beijing-Wuhan Line, 760 km long. Harbin-Dalian Line, 924 km long. Shanghai-Beijing Line, 1,380 km long. Maglev train. China also has the world's first commercial high-speed maglev train service. The Chinese project, a Sino-German joint venture, was a 38 km long route between downtown Shanghai and the Pudong Airport that opened in 2003. The project cost $1.2 billion. In 2004, the first Chinese-made maglev train made its debut in Dalian, a major port city in northeast China's Liaoning province. The 10.3 km long train has a top speed of just under 110 km per hour. Although the cost to build was high at $6 million per kilometer, China's outlay was still only 1/6 of the world average. Railway links with adjoining countries. The only railway link China has with a neighboring country that does not have a break of gauge is with North Korea. China also has links with Kazakhstan, Mongolia and Russia, which all use the 1,520 mm gauge, and with Vietnam, where the 1,000 mm gauge is still in use. China does not have a direct rail link with Afghanistan, Bhutan, India, Kyrgyzstan, Nepal, Pakistan or Tajikistan, but is currently planning links with Laos and India. Variable gauge axle trains are sometimes used to overcome the break of gauge with neighboring countries. The mainland is also linked to Hong Kong, but not with Macau, although a Macau link is planned. Trans-Siberian Railway. The Trans-Siberian Railway, which crosses Russia, has a branch that sweeps down from Ulan-Ude, across Mongolia, and on to Beijing. Potential link of Qinghai-Tibet Railway to India, as India has been extending its railway near the Nathula Pass with China, and China has plans to extend the Qinghai-Tibet Railway to near its border with Nathula. A petition was set up to promote the idea that both countries could link up the respective proportions for direct train services between the two countries. As of the 6th of September 2011, the petition had 81 members. Metro. Currently there are 15 rapid transit systems in mainland China. A further 18 systems are under construction and 20 more metros are planned. With the 4 trillion yen economic stimulus package, all current existing subway systems are undergoing massive expansion, with many new systems being under construction or planned. The Beijing subway, which opened in 1969, currently has 15 lines, 218 stations, and 372 kilometers of subway track, and will grow to about 1,000 kilometers by 2020. The Tianjin Metro was begun in 1970 as a planned network of 153.9 kilometers on 7 lines. The current existing system contains 2 lines and 26.18 kilometers of track with 22 stations. Shanghai Metro, which opened in 1995, as of the end of 2010 had 12 lines, 233 stations, and 420 kilometers of track in operation, making it the longest metro system in the world. Further expansion plans call for a network of 887 kilometers of track. The Guangzhou Metro, which opened in 1997, has 5 lines, 144 stations, and has 236 kilometers with an additional 400 kilometers planned to be completed by 2020. The Shenzhen Metro opened in 2004, initially with 2 lines, 19 stations, and 21.8 kilometers of track. After 2010 it had over 70 kilometers, and by June 2011 it had expanded to 177 kilometers of operational metro. Cities that have a metro system: Beijing Subway, Changsha Metro, Changchun Light Rail Transit, Chengdu Metro, Chongqing Rail Transit, Dalian Metro, Dongguan Rail Transit, F Metro, Fuzhou Metro, Guangzhou Metro, Hangzhou Metro, Harbin Metro, Hefei Metro, Kunming Rail Transit, Nanchang Rail Transit, Nanjing Metro, Ningbo Rail Transit, Qingdao Metro, Shanghai Metro, Shenyang Metro, Shenzhen Metro, Suzhou Metro, Tianjin Metro, Wuhan Metro, Wuxi Metro, Xi'an Metro, Zhengzhou Metro. Style equals width 33.33%. Text align left, vertical align top. Metro systems under construction: Changzhou Metro, Guiyang Urban Rail Transit, Hefei Metro, Nanning Rail Transit, Wenzhou Metro. Style equals width 33.33%. Text align left, vertical align top. Suburban and commuter rail systems: China's passenger railways are mostly used for medium and long-distance travel, with few trains stopping anywhere but at major stations in center cities. Commuter rail systems, characteristic of large European and North American cities, are uncommon in China. At the moment, radial suburban metro lines are currently filling in this role. However, Beijing Suburban Railway and some high-speed regional ICLs such as the Guangzhou MRT and Chengdu Zhangyun ICL recently started operating. Metro in the Special Administrative Regions Hong Kong Mass Transit Railway was planned, designed, constructed and opened under British administration. It was opened in 1979 and merged with the KCR network in 2007 to form a 10-line heavy metro operation and light rail service. The Macau LRT was first proposed in 2003, but a final go-ahead was not given until a public announcement by the government of Macau in October 2006. The Macau Light Transit System will serve the Macau Peninsula, Taipa Island, Cotai Reclamation Area and Macau International Airport. Road motor vehicles. During the war with Japan in the 1930s, China built many roads, the most famous of which is the Burma Road that leads southwest from Kunming to the city of Lashio. Since it came into power, the communist government initiated a large effort into building highways that extend across China and beyond its borders. Today, China is linked by an evolving network of roads and expressways. In the past few years, China has been rapidly developing its highway system. Between 1990 and 2003, the total length of urban roads in China more than doubled, increasing from 95,000 to 208,000 kilometers of roads during that period. Similarly, during the same period of time, the total area allocated to roads more than tripled, from 892 million square meters in 1990 to 3,156.5 million square meters in 2003. China national highways stretch to all four corners of mainland China. Expressways reach the same destinations as China national highways, except for the rugged terrain of Tibet. An expressway link is already at the planning stage. In 2005, China had a total road network of more than 3.3 million kilometers, although approximately 1.47 million kilometers of this network America classified as village roads. Paved roads totaled 770,265 kilometers in 2004. The remainder were gravel, improved earth standard, or merely earth tracks. Highways were critical to China's economic growth as it worked to mitigate a poor distribution network, and authorities sought to spur economic activity directly. All major cities are expected to be linked with a 108,000 kilometers interprovince or expressway system by 2020. The highway and road systems carried nearly 11.6 billion tons of freight and 769.6 trillion passenger kilometers in 2003. The importance of highways and motor vehicles, which carry 13.5% of cargo and 49.1% of passengers, was growing rapidly in the mid-2000s. Road usage has increased significantly as automobiles, including privately owned vehicles, rapidly replace bicycles as the popular vehicle of choice in China. Car ownership is still low in comparison to the other members of the BRIC group of countries, being exceeded by Russia and Brazil. Indeed, the rate of car ownership in China is only expected to meet the 1960s level of car ownership of some developed countries in 2015. In 2002, excluding military and probably internal security vehicles, there were 12 million passenger cars and buses in operation and 8.1 million other vehicles. In 2003, China reported that 23.8 million vehicles were used for business purposes, including 14.8 million passenger vehicles and 8.5 million trucks. The latest statistics from the Beijing Municipal Statistics Bureau show that Beijing had nearly 1.3 million privately owned cars at the end of 2004, or 11 for each 100 Beijing residents. Beijing currently has the highest annual rate of private car growth in China. Some 270,000 kilometers of rural highways will be built and upgraded in 2008. By comparison, 423,000 kilometers of countryside highways were built or upgraded in 2007, a record high. According to China's Transport Ministry, as of the end of 2007, 98.54% of villages and towns had already been connected by highways. The 2008 construction plan comprises 5 north-south highway trunk roads and 7 east-west trunk roads and 8 interprovincial roads. Meanwhile, the central and local governments have continued to allocate funds to support the countryside highway build-up and step-up construction quality supervision. By the end of 2010, China's highways extends 74,000 kilometers, with the total length of all public roads reaching 3,984,000 kilometers. Bus rapid transit. More than 30 projects are being implemented as studied in China in some big cities, but few bus lanes in some cities make it harder to keep the high speed as expected. Beijing, 3 lines with 2 branch lines on the way. The busiest BRT Line 1, running on the Nanjing-Zhaoshan, launched at the end of December 2005. The line terminates at Qianmen and Demaojuang, which is 16 kilometers long with 15 intermediate stops. BRT Line 4 is under construction. Changzhou, 2 lines on the way. Chongqing, BRT Line 1 on the way. Dalian Route BRT Route 1 started operation in 2008. Guangzhou, BRT Line 1 on the way. Hangzhou, BRT Route B1 which started operation on April 22, 2006. Hefei, 3 lines on the way. Jinan, BRT Line 1 on the way. Kunming system opened in 1999. Shanghai, a BRT line running between Shanghai West Railway Station and Shanghai West Railway Station is on the way. Shenyang, more than 6 routes planned. Shenzhen, BRT line 1 on the way. Wuxi, 5 routes planned. Xiamen, 3 lines on the way. Xi'an, 1 east-west route planned. Zhangzhou, line 1 on the way, linked by 8 BRT branch lines. Trolleybus systems. As of 2013, trolleybuses provide a portion of the public transit service in 10 Chinese cities. At one time, as many as 27 cities were served by trolleybuses, comprising 28 systems, as Wuhan had 2 independent trolleybus systems. The Shanghai trolleybus system, which remains in operation, opened in 1914 and is the longest-lived trolleybus system in the world. All other trolleybus systems in China opened after 1950. Town tramway systems. Electric bicycles. China is the world's leading producer of electric bicycles. According to the data of the China Bicycle Association, a government-chartered industry group, in 2004 China's manufacturers sold 7.5 million electric bicycles nationwide, which was almost twice 2003 sales. Domestic sales reached 10 million in 2005, and 16 to 18 million in 2006. By 2007, electric bicycles were thought to make up 10 to 20% of all two-wheeled vehicles on the streets of many major cities. A typical unit requires 8 hours to charge the battery, which provides the range of 25 to 30 miles, at the speed of around 20 kilometers per hour. However, people usually illegal override makes it just like normal motorcycles, capable of reach nearly 100 kilometers per hour. A large number of such vehicles is exported from China as well. In 2006 alone, bridges. During the infrastructure boom of the past 2 decades, bridge building has proceeded at a rapid pace on a vast scale. Notably, prior to the completion of the Wuhan-Yangtze River Bridge in 1957, there were no bridges across the Yangtze River, China's longest, from Yiban to Shanghai, and all overland road and railways crossing this 2,884 kilometers stretch of the river required ferries. In 1992, there were only 7 such bridges, but by the end of 2012, the tally had reached 73, including 8 new openings in that year alone. As a result of the rapidly expanding civil aviation industry, by 2007 China had around 500 airports of all types and sizes in operation, about 400 of which had paved runways and about 100 of which had runways of 3,047 meters or shorter. There also were 35 heliports in 2007, an increasingly used type of facility. With the additional airports came a proliferation of airlines. Further information. List of airlines of China. The Civil Aviation Administration of China, also called the General Administration of Civil Aviation of China, was established as a government agency in 1949 to operate China's commercial air fleet. In 1988, CAAC's operational fleet was transferred to new, semi-autonomous airlines and has served since as a regulatory agency. In 2002, the government merged the 9 largest airlines into 3 regional groups based in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, respectively. Air China, China Eastern Airlines, and China Southern Airlines, which operate most of China's external flights. By 2005, these 3 had been joined by 6 other major airlines. Airlines, Hainan Airlines, Shanghai Airlines, Shandong Airlines, Xiamen Airlines, Shenzhen Airlines, and Sichuan Airlines. Together, these 9 airlines had a combined fleet of some 860 aircraft, mostly Boeing from the United States and Airbus from Europe, to meet growing demands for passenger and cargo capacity. In 2005, these airlines significantly expanded the fleets, with orders placed for additional Boeing and Airbus aircraft expected to be delivered by 2010. In June 2006, it was announced that an Airbus A320 assembly plant would be built in the Binhai area of Tianjin, with the first aircraft to be delivered in 2008. Air China owns 17.5% of Cathay Pacific, and the Civil Aviation Administration of China, an administrative agency of the State Council, owns majority and controlling stakes in China's Southern Airlines, China Eastern Airlines, and Air China. The total number of planes of all mainland Chinese carriers combined will be near 1,580 by 2010, up from 863 in 2006. By 2025, the figure is estimated to be 4,000. The 27 airlines in the Chinese mainland handled 138 million passengers and 22.17 million tons of cargo in 2005. Airports. In 2007, China has 467 airports. Of China's major airports, Beijing Capital International Airport, located 27 kilometers northeast of central Beijing, has the greatest flow of passengers annually. Shanghai has the second largest amount of air traffic in China through its 2 airports combined, the Shanghai Pudong International Airport, which is located 30 kilometers southeast of central Shanghai, and Shanghai Hongqiao International Airport, which is located 13 kilometers west of central Shanghai. Both are under control of the Shanghai Airport Authority. The new Guangzhou Baiyun International Airport, which opened in August 2004 and is located 28 kilometers from downtown Guangzhou. Other major airports are located at Chengdu, Chongqing, Dalian, Hangzhou, Harbin, Hohhot, Kunming, Qingdao, Shenyang, Tianjin, Urumqi, Xiamen, and Xian. China is served both by numerous major international flights to most countries of the world and a host of domestic regional airlines. Air traffic within mainland China is often connected through Beijing, Shanghai and Guangzhou. They are respectively the main hubs for Air China, China Eastern Airlines and China Southern Airlines. In 2003, China's civil aviation sector carried nearly 2.2 million tons of freight and 126.3 trillion passenger kilometers. Passenger flights to Taiwan and other places under administration of the Republic of China must follow special rules. Flights between mainland China and Hong Kong International Airport and Macau International Airport considered international. China, however, is planning to build a new airport in Nak, Tibet in 2011. It will surpass Kamda Bangda Airport as being the world's highest airport once completed. China is also currently in the process of constructing the new Beijing Daxing International Airport, which is scheduled to be completed and operational by 2015. It will become the country's biggest airport with 9 runways, and it will become the world's busiest airport by international passenger traffic, surpassing London Heathrow, and will have more passengers than Atlanta, which is currently the world's busiest airport. Airports with paved runways total 403, over 3,047 meters, 58. 2,438 to 3,047 meters, 128. 1,524 to 2,437 meters, 130. 914 to 1,523 meters, 20. Under 914 meters, 67. Airports with unpaved runways total, 64. Over 3,047 meters, 4. 2,438 to 3,047 meters, 4. 1,524 to 2,437 meters, 13. 914 to 1,523 meters, 17. Under 914 meters, 26.